The pros and cons of owning an Oura Ring. Hey everyone, welcome to Jewel's Galaxy of Reviews. I'm Jewel, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience with owning an Oura Ring for over 3 years now. Alright, so the Oura Ring, pros and cons. I'm going to go through a whole mix of the positives and negatives to owning an Oura Ring. Like I said, I've had an Oura Ring for about 3 years now. And the one that I'm wearing currently is the Oura Ring 4, and it's the standard silver one. Previous to this, I did have the Oura Ring 3, and I ended up having to upgrade because the Oura Ring 3, the battery life was dying. There was an issue with the battery. So I guess that's the first con. Depending on the version that you have, if you have Oura Ring version 3 or previous, then you're likely going to be experiencing battery issues. So a positive note on that is that they have amazing customer service. So back when I had the Oura Ring 3 and I noticed the battery was starting to get worn out, it wasn't holding a charge for as long, I contacted Oura Ring support, and their support is hands down the best I've ever experienced for a product. I did not even have to speak to anyone. It was literally just all like computer bots, and you have to answer a bunch of questions. And before you knew it, they sent me a replacement without even speaking to anyone. They were able to check the battery life of the Oura Ring 3, and they just like shipped it out immediately. I was like shocked at how convenient their customer support was. So that's a pro, is if you do have an issue with your Oura Ring, their customer support, in my opinion, is awesome. So I originally got the Oura Ring to track a bunch of health metrics. I wanted to track my steps. I wanted to track my sleep. I've been going down the biohacking route, you know, mouth tape, cold plunging, going to sleep early, supplements, all that kind of stuff. And I will say their app and the metrics and the data and everything that collects is awesome. It's like above and beyond. It did take me a while to understand everything, because if you're completely new to Oura Ring, you'll see all this metrics and data, and they're really good at explaining things. You'll see these little information things in the app that says exactly, you know, what this data point is and why it's important, and, you know, if it's low or high, improvements that you can do. So I like that they're always improving like the Oura Ring software. A con is if you do weightlifting or any kind of sport where you're grabbing like a bar or something like a metal, anything metal, it doesn't feel as great and it will get scratched up. So I do weightlifting, and you know, when I've got the barbell bar or a kettlebell or even just like dumbbells, if you're really gripping it, like you can feel it rubbing, the bottom part rubbing against the bar or whatever it is. And that's a con because it does get scratched up. But I've pretty much let it go. Like I'm not wearing this ring for aesthetics. It's for health. And so even though it did get slightly scratched up at the bottom, it's not really a big deal to me. And so these days when I'm doing certain exercises where I'm gripping something really hard, I tend to take the ring off. Another pro is if you're a female, it does a really good job of tracking your menstrual cycle. So it's pretty much to a T. And even sometimes I forget to log it in, and they're like, oh, did you start your menstrual cycle? And I'm like, oh yeah, I totally did. So I like that I can actually look on a calendar and see when I'm going to be getting my menstrual cycle, because then you can plan around it. You know, don't go swimming on that day. Overall, I do feel that this has elevated my health in general, because I'm tracking everything, you know, my sleep, my temperature, my steps. It does push me to get that better score. For me, it hasn't been bad. I know that some people can get obsessed over the metrics and, you know, I've got to get 100 score or anything like that. I'm not like that with the Oura Ring. I am wanting to improve, but I'm not obsessed to the point of I have to get 100 score or all the crowns or something like that. But it does keep me in check with leading a healthier lifestyle. Another con is that, the app is a monthly subscription in addition to purchasing the ring, which we all, having another subscription, that's kind of annoying. I do pay for the year, so it's not like getting deducted every month. I just pay for it once a year and then there you go. Don't need to think about it. I am okay with it because they are always improving the app and they are always improving the software. Another thing to think about is I started doing sauna and cold plunge, and I was wearing the Oura Ring 3 during that time, and I did look up some articles and things like that on if you can wear the ring. And you can wear the ring in the sauna and in the cold plunge, and I did, but, and I can't say this with definitive hard data, but I feel and I noticed that my battery on the Oura Ring 3 degraded a lot faster. And so when I switched to the Oura Ring 4, I actually take it off when I go into the sauna and when I go into the cold plunge because they are such extreme temperatures, right? Like super, super hot and then super, super cold. Probably can't be good for your tech gear. So I take it off now. I did leave it on before, but I feel like it affected the battery. So would I recommend the Oura Ring? If you were standing right in front of me, I probably would ask you a couple of questions like, what's your goal with your health? Are you wanting to improve it, this and that? I would only recommend it to someone if they're serious about actually making a difference in becoming and having a healthy lifestyle. I wouldn't recommend it just to get it, kind of like an Apple Watch, People just get the Apple Watch because it's a watch, right? And it also serves that functionality like a phone and all that kind of stuff. This is a smart ring, and so I like it because I'm not bombarded with any messages or notifications or anything like that. There's no text messages on here. That's one of the reasons why I chose the Oura Ring over like an Apple Watch or a smartwatch, because I did have a Fitbit and it was, one, I got a rash from the silicone and constantly wearing it and sweating and having to wash it all the time. And then two, the notifications were crazy. I get a lot of notifications, messages, and it was just way too distracting. So I would only recommend this if you are serious about wanting to get better sleep, tracking your workouts, tracking your steps, and just overall wanting to improve your vitals and metrics. I would not get it if you just want the look of it or just to say that you have an Oura Ring. I will say though, being new to Oura Ring in the beginning, it did take me a bit to get into the app and to the data because it was quite overwhelming with all of the data points and all of the numbers and what does this mean. I actually had to take time and look through the app and read and understand the explanations and what are we actually tracking and why and how we can improve it. So what would I give the Oura Ring as a Jules Gems rating? For me personally, I give this a 10 out of 10. I mean, I've been wearing this pretty much every day for 3+ years straight, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. I love it. I personally love the look of it. A potential con is that some people think it's too big and it's very flashy and it's chunky, but I personally like that. So it really depends on the person. And I will say that right away when I'm wearing this, it is very distinct in that most people know that it is an Oura Ring. I get a lot of comments when I'm around traveling. They're like, oh, is that the Oura Ring? Do you have an Oura Ring? How is it? So it's definitely a conversation starter. A lot of people ask about it. So it does have a distinctive look that people know. And I personally like it. Something that I'd wish they'd incorporate is being able to switch out the rings to the different colors. Let's say I wanted the gold one as well, which I do want the gold one, but I only want to wear that one for special occasions. I wish it was easy to just switch it out in the app. It's not as easy. You have to do this whole data transfer and everything. At the time of filming this video, May 2026, that's how it is. I hope in the future that they make it interchangeable so that, because if they did that, I would get more rings. Like I would get the gold one, maybe the rose gold one, and easily switch them out with my outfits. So that's something, Oura Ring, if you're watching, a suggestion from me. So I do give this a Jules Gems rating of 10 out of 10. I think it's a very unique piece of tech wearable gear. I love it. I always look forward to the updates from the app. If you are interested in getting an Oura Ring, I will have a discount link down in the description below. So let me know in the comments, do you have an Oura Ring? Are you thinking about getting one? Let me know. Hit the thumbs up button if you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.